Hi lovelies, and welcome to Vlogmas Day 22. The day started out in the morning. It's my day off, and Daniel and I were just making some waffles. This was the most chaotic waffle batch we ever made, but anyway, we started off with some milk, eggs, cinnamon, salt. We're also going to be adding some sugar just so that it's sweet enough, and we're also going to be adding some vanilla extract as well as some baking powder, and then we're going to just whisk that together and then prepare to add the flour. Now this flour, Donna wanted to do it, so we had to do that. We added the flour in, obviously with mommy's guidance. Well, anyway, it was time to mix the batter. He wanted to do that as well. He was very excited to do that, and so he had his turn. Well, anyway, you guys, let's just get into the gist of this vlog. Let's not forget we added some oil as well. All right, so tomorrow, which is the 24th, is the day for our meat shopping. You guys, you have been asking. I've gotten comments from the 23rd of December. Obviously that's relevant to this vlog because it's the 22nd, but you guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, the 24th is the day we are going to have the shopping. I was hoping or believing that I would have a live as I am getting my things, but I don't know how it's going to be, and I would hate to string you guys along. But the 24th is the date, and it is on a Sunday. You guys know that the shops close by 4 o'clock on Sunday, so you want to get to the shops early enough so that you are able to get as much as you can. Also, you'll be able to see the price actually drop because they will still be reducing the prices on the 24th as well. So target whatever stores you want to shop from and stick around to those places. Stick around, literally camp around those areas. That's the information that I have for you guys. The 24th is the date, and you are going to have to monitor the prices because they will try to sell them off at a higher price once the shop opens up, and then reduce the prices as the shop is about to close. Okay, so that's how it was the year before. That was how it was last year as well. So you guys stick around for that. Our waffles are done. We're just adding some toffee syrup to that, and that was breakfast for the boys. For myself, I just had my ginger tea and I had 2 donuts. That was it, and everyone was basically good up until the afternoon. This ginger tea is such a huge relief because I really enjoy taking it, and it's such a huge or new difference to me. Hi lovelies, and welcome back to Vlogmas Day 22. You guys, the countdown to Vlogmas is officially on. Alright you guys, so it is midday now, and the boys have had breakfast, they've had their bath. I've also had my bath, but I've just been lounging in bed. You guys know how I like my day off. And funny enough, the boys have been well behaved. They had a compulsory nap, so that's probably why. Alright, so everyone's doing alright, but the boys are not really hungry because, I don't know, for some reason they're not very hungry. So they just want a light snack. So I'm about to fry them some prawn crackers. You guys remember the prawn crackers I told you we got at Farm Foods? I'm about to fry some up right now and give to them. Hopefully that should hold them up because they had snacks after breakfast. That should hold them up till we have dinner. Tonight we're going home. I'm going to Nigeria tonight. I'm going to Nigeria tonight, okay? You get to know what I mean. Obviously by the title of the video you already know what I'm talking about. Well, I'm going home tonight. Alright you guys, I'm just about to fry them up some prawn crackers, and then I'm going to prepare for my trip home. Alright, so this is what the prawn crackers are looking like. I believe I showed you guys when we bought it. My husband was the one who got it from Farm Foods, and these ones are a bit thicker than the ones we used to get in Nigeria, but anyway, it tastes as good as the same ones we used to have when I was growing up. Anyway, I'm just putting a little amount in that saucer just so that it's easy to access, and this thing comes together really quickly. This always brings back fun memories. I feel because the boys were just waking up, they would be the ones to throw the prawn crackers into the oil, but I had to do this one while they were still trying to get their selves together. You know when children just wake up. Yeah, so that's the stage they were in. Anyway, it's always lovely to eat this, and I was listening to music as I was eating mine as well. But you guys, let us start making dinner. We are having abula. Abula is amala with ewedu and gbegiri with a little stew on it with all assortment of meat. But this is the process to make it. I'm just adding my honey beans into my food processor, giving that a quick boil. I've showed you guys this method. It always peels the beans. It saves you the stress of having to peel your beans. But anyway, all you have to do is just agitate it a little, get the little shells off, and then it's time to boil your beans. Just add some water to cover the beans, and then you cover the pot and let that go. So we're going to be preparing all the meats and assortment that we have. I don't have as much as I would have loved for the buka stew, but what I have is what we're going to use. So I'm cutting up my already washed pomo, panla, and I'm going to be using some dried catfish as well. I bring this one out on very rare occasions because it's always very flavorful. Okay, so I'm also cutting up some onion, so that one's out of the way. Our beans is almost done. I'm just moving that off the fire. I'm going to be boiling some chicken and add seasoning that as well. Just for my buka stew, I'm adding some onions and lamb meat, and this is as much as the assortment as I have in my freezer at the moment. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to add some salt to that, give it a good stir, and then add some water and let that come to a boil. So the beans is almost, well, it's soft enough to blend right now, so I'm just going to transfer that into a blender, add some water, scotch bonnet. I'm also going to be adding iru. Iru is dried locust beans, and that is what gives it the flavor. I'm going to blend the beans first. I actually forgot to add the locust beans as I was blending the beans, so once I'd finished blending the beans, I just added some locust beans into the blender and gave that a good whirl in the blender, and then I added it back into the pot. Now this is basically almost everything that you need. You're just going to be adding some of our pomo, our stockfish, our panla, and some crayfish as well. I'm going to be adding some chicken seasoning and salt and some water, and just bring that to a boil. This beans is just going to continue to cook. You're going to see that I'm going to be adding water as time goes on. Quality control is very important, so you know we're not cooking rubbish. Okay, so our meat is almost done. Give that a quick check and let it keep going. Now this is the trick for the ewedu. I don't have access to ewedu leaves here, but I saw this trick of using okra and spinach, blending that together, and you're going to get ewedu. I thought it was a lie. I thought people were actually taking it up one way or another, but this is what they did. Basically added okra, spinach, and iru, your locust beans, and crayfish to your blender, and you blend that together. I added a little more water than was needed. I tried to reduce this later, but if you guys are going to make this recipe, try to add little water. Okay, once that is all blended, this is what it looks like. Look at how green it is. I added some chicken seasoning and some salt to that. I'm letting that boil, and our chicken is done. I'm just going to be changing the pot and drying up the meat in the air fryer. Add some palm oil to our gbegiri. Gbegiri is already coming together really nicely. Palm oil is usually one of the last things we add to that. To make our buka stew, I'm adding some palm oil, onions. My pepper mixer is already cooked, so this pepper is not going to take long at all. I'm adding my panla, pomo, and catfish, as well as the stock from that, and cover it because it is going to splatter a lot. Cooking with palm oil always makes a splatter. Anyway, I put the water on for the amala, and our stew is coming together. I'm just going to add a little salt, a little chicken seasoning, and let it keep going. Remember to cover that pot because it always splatters. Alright, so I'm just going to go back to our meat. It's done now, and this is just going to help the stew reduce a lot. So I'm adding that back into the meat. This buka stew is ideally made from, guts. So you had towel, a body, roundabout, bokoto. You have all this cut of meat in the pot, but I don't have all of that. Anyway, our water is hot for the amala. I'm just going to be saving some for afterwards, and then I'm going to be making my amala. Amala is so easy to make. I don't know if some people are so scared of it. It's so easy to make. Make sure your water is really hot. Add your flour, give it a good beating, and then once it comes together, you add your water back. You make sure that there are holes for the amala to steam properly. Add a little oil. You have to add oil if you want your amala to look like buka amala. That's the trick. Okay, so our stew is done right now. I'm just going to be turning off the heat and then prepared to serve our amala. I have a bowl of cold water and I'm just putting some oil on this really little bowl that I'm going to use to mold the amala. Anyway, the final stir for the amala, and we know that we are ready to eat. You see, once this amala, when you say just know that dinner is ready and we're about to feast. If you're wearing a wig, just take it off. Just take it off, because you need to be as comfortable as possible to be able to enjoy this food. Anyway, it's time to plate, and look at how the amala is molding. It's because of the oil in the amala and the oil on that small plate. And you guys, there's no way you have lumps if you follow this method. There is absolutely no way. Anyway, it's time to plate. My husband doesn't like begiri, so we're omitting that from him. We're adding some ewedu, some of our meat, and I'm just trying to get all the assortments. So all the panla, the pomo, the catfish, all of that, the goat meat. I'm just packing all of that. Abula is a really hearty food, so when you eat it, just make sure that you have no plans to do any serious work, because you are just gonna be knocked out. You're going to sleep because it is really hearty, and you're going to be full and knocked out. Anyway, you guys, the 24th is the day. Mark your calendar, save your money, prepare to go to the store and camp out. 4 o'clock is when the stores are closing. I'll see you guys.